Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Here, a few days after the fight, with a post-fight take on Manny Pacquiao's victory over Sugar Shane Mosley. Now, let me just tell you my story, how I saw the fight, and let me give you my thoughts on the fight. Also, know too that I'm a big believer that it's better to be truthful than popular. Right? I think that integrity is something that matters a great deal, and I think that the time to express an unpopular opinion is, quite frankly, when it's unpopular. So let's talk about this fight. I got invited to see the fight, a little political. My girl's boss invited us over, and I went. I was with a bunch of people who were rooting for Manny Pacquiao. Now, I was sitting back. Subscribers know my prediction on the fight was my recommended gambling play was Shane Mosley to win the fight, straddled against the over. Right now, gamblers know that if you got plus 130 or plus 140 on the over, as most casinos were offering, then you actually ended up with more profit than if you took Manny Pacquiao at plus 800. I'm not going to do the math here. I don't want this to get too numerical, but I know the gambling crowd understands that because this fight went the distance, like Pacquiao's fight against Antonio Margarito, like Pacquiao's fight against Joshua Clottey, because this fight went the distance and because Pacquiao seems to be very richly priced at casinos, you were actually able to get better than even money odds on that over. So even with a straddle where you had equal money on both sides of the bet, you actually came away better than you would have taking a minus 800 on Pacquiao to win the fight. So I know gamblers were taken care of on this one. Let me just tell you what I saw watching the fight. The crowd around me was very excited. They were completely mesmerized by Manny Pacquiao's foot speed, Manny Pacquiao's hand speed, Manny Pacquiao's knockdown of Shane Mosley in the third round. It was actually not the first Pacquiao fight I've seen with Pacquiao supporters, but I was intrigued by how the fight they saw was different than the fight I saw. In my opinion, this fight was a disaster for both fighters. Now, first, let me say I agree with Freddie Roach. I thought Manny Pacquiao, simply put, won every minute of every round in this fight. The knockdown that Shane Mosley got late in the fight was really a non-knockdown. Shane Mosley was standing on Manny Pacquiao's foot at the time, inadvertently. I don't think Shane did it deliberately, and Pacquiao would not have gone down had Mosley not been standing on his foot. Not only that, in the rest of the round, Manny Pacquiao won that round. Now, for Mosley, the fight was bad because Mosley was coming off a loss to Floyd Mayweather, a draw against Sergio Mora, and then in this fight, um, he lost 11, 12 rounds, didn't throw his usual volume. In fact, he looked like he was in survival mode after getting knocked down. Some boxing insiders, people in the game like James Toney, have expressed their displeasure with Shane Mosley. Some people feel that Shane Mosley gave up, and that's too bad because Shane Mosley is a warrior who, as of this video, after a long career, has still never been knocked out. I think Shane Mosley still has a future in boxing. He just has to look at the tape and he has to ask himself a few questions about exactly what he was doing in this fight. I did think in the first couple of rounds, Shane Mosley came out and had that right hand cocked. It looked like he wanted to hit Manny Pacquiao with a straight right. he seemed to sense that that punch was there, right? But of course, after the knockdown in the third round, just take a look at Shane Mosley's right hand. He goes from holding it in a cocked offensive position to holding it really more to cover, to defend himself from Manny Pacquiao's left hand, right? So I thought for Shane Mosley it was at best a lackluster performance. Mosley did not look good. This was not the kind of fight where someone who's a Shane Mosley fan, hoping for the best, was encouraged by anything they saw in the ring. For Manny Pacquiao, I thought the fight was equally bad. And I know you can imagine the emails I've gotten. Trust me, I was with a group of Pacquiao supporters who were screaming during the fight, including someone who was from the Philippines, right? Screaming during the fight. I understand Manny Pacquiao's cultural popularity, right? But understand this is not a fan appreciation video. I'm a gambler. I'm just looking to see who wins fights, right? I'm trying to profit from the difference between the public narrative and what's actually happening in the ring. Now, take a look at the CompuBox numbers, right? They're mathematical. They're not subjective. They're somewhat objective, right? The way CompuBox is reported, you actually have multiple people around the ring. The punch is only registered as a punch if multiple people hit the button indicating that the punch landed. Right now, according to CompuBox, Manny Pacquiao landed 13% of his jabs. Now, understand, Shane Mosley is a lot of things, but Shane Mosley is not an elite defensive fighter, right? I'm sure members of Shane Mosley's own family would not confuse him with Floyd Mayweather defensively, right? And the reason I'm mentioning Floyd is because the most sought after fight in boxing as I make this video is Pacquiao against Floyd, right? My point to you is simply this. A guy who can only land 13% of his jabs against Shane Mosley in a fight where Shane Mosley is giving a lackluster performance, right? Where Shane Mosley is not at his best and is not doing much in the ring, right? A guy who could only land 13% of his jabs, and these aren't my numbers, this is CompuBox's numbers, right? In my opinion, would be at a great disadvantage against Floyd Mayweather. You simply cannot beat Floyd Mayweather if you're only landing 13% of your jabs. Let me make another point, and I think it's a profound point. Since Shane Mosley is not a great defensive fighter, right? Since Shane Mosley is really, as I've said in several videos, pre-fight videos, a brawler masquerading as a boxer, right? He's a slugger masquerading as a boxer. You really have to ask the question, what kept Manny Pacquiao from landing more punches on Shane Mosley? He had a problem hitting Shane Mosley. Again, let's look at the numbers, right? And I understand that people saw Pacquiao win the fight. I've gotten emails asking me whether I think Pacquiao is the best welterweight in history. I've gotten comments on my YouTube channel page asking me whether I think Manny Pacquiao has the best punch in welterweight history. And keep in mind, these people are earnest Pacquiao supporters after yet another fight where Manny Pacquiao has gone the distance, right? They're asking whether Pacquiao has the biggest punch in the history of a welterweight division where guys like Sugar Ray Robinson were unbeaten with a punch and where Thomas Hearns ruled at one time, right? Knocking out, you know, iron-chinned guys like Pimpino Cuevas early in fights, right? And so all I'm saying is this: if Manny Pacquiao had a hard time landing on Shane Mosley, who before this fight certainly wasn't known for defensive prowess, then you really have to ask yourself, um, how would Manny Pacquiao land meaningful punches on Floyd Mayweather? I'll even go further because I thought that this fight really was Exhibit A. Put it this way: this fight was so bad for Manny Pacquiao from a boxing perspective that I was fearful as I was watching it that it was actually detracting from the possible purse for a Pacquiao Mayweather fight, right? Um, Manny Pacquiao against Shane Mosley, and again, he knocked Shane Mosley down in the third round. He has 9 rounds after that third round knockdown to finish Shane Mosley. Manny Pacquiao hardly lands any body shots, right? And keep in mind, this fight went the distance. And again, Shane Mosley does a lot of things very well. Future Boxing Hall of Famer. But defense is not his calling card. He's an offensive fighter, right? Against a helpless Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao landed next to no body punches. Let me challenge the audience. Tell me in the comments to this video, which I'm sure will get a lot of negative comments, tell me the round in which you feel Manny Pacquiao landed meaningful body punches, right? In fact, let's go further. Tell me the rounds in which you feel Manny Pacquiao landed meaningful right hands. Now keep in mind, his jab is his right hand, right? We know that his right jab landed 13% of the time. 13, right? Manny Pacquiao does have an excellent left hand. I'm aware of the fact that he landed 50% of his power punches. But we all know if you're fighting a great defensive fighter, he's going to take away your top weapon. And Manny Pacquiao throws straight left hands, right? They're straight. Against Floyd Mayweather, when's the last time you saw Floyd fight anyone where Floyd Mayweather was not able to negate that person's lead weapon? Keep in mind, too, Mayweather unbeaten as I make this video, right? Let me say a few more things, too. The first Marquez fight, at the end of the 9th round of that fight, Emmanuel Stewart, who was doing the commentary for HBO, literally gives you a great trainer's perspective on Manny Pacquiao's strengths and weaknesses. Now, Pacquiao does have a lot of strengths. He's certainly one of the fighters of our time. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But listen to Emmanuel Stewart. He'll tell you that after Pacquiao throws his combinations, he's in the wrong position. He's actually vulnerable to a right counter. Let me point out, that's the thing that makes the Marquez fights competitive. Look at what Marquez is landing against Manny Pacquiao. Look at what's busted up Pacquiao's eye in both of their fights. It's a right counter. Pacquiao, after he throws a combination, is vulnerable to that right counter, right? Floyd Mayweather is right-handed, right? Floyd Mayweather is a master at the right counter. So I would urge anyone who wants to know who would win a Pacquiao Mayweather fight to put on Pacquiao Shane Mosley and ask yourself a few questions. I'm in my last 20 seconds. One is, why can't Pacquiao hit Shane Mosley? Where are the body punches? Why can't Pacquiao's jab land? Right? If you answer the questions to those, I believe you figure out the winner. Give me your views, positive